Ohio State, favored by 2.5 points against Missouri, 8 Eastern, ESPN in Jerry World. Now, contrary to what the Ohio State social platform is going to tell you, this game is not being played in the desert. I appreciate what they tried to do there. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case with Ohio State's social team saying there was a showdown in the desert. I digress. Ohio State, man, this is a game for them where they can remind the entire country who they are. Because the narrative around them the last couple of seasons has been, yeah, good team, but they're not elite because they can't get past Michigan, because they can't get past Georgia. Is that fair? I don't think so. But this is the game for Ohio State where you can reset that tone for 2024. Because much like the game we just talked about a second ago between Georgia and Florida State, Ohio State, they can have a lot of these guys come back. There's a lot of guys that are still yet to announce their plans for the 2024 season. So what I'm trying to say here is this doesn't have to be the last game of this season. This could be the first game of next season. So get fired up if you're a Buckeye fan. For Missouri, man, this is a chance to put an exclamation mark on what 2023 has been. I said this during our last podcast with Jake Crane, man. Like, I don't know who wants to see Missouri right now in a 12-team playoff. They've been one of the hottest teams in the country. They have a true identity under Eli Drinkwitz. Got a dynamic offense. Like, I wouldn't want to mess with them right now. This is a chance for them to light a fire for this offseason. Like, to beat one of the name brands in college football, Ohio State, your last game of the year, and then look forward to 2024. I'm just saying, I think this is kind of that chance for you to pour gasoline on what you've already done in 2023 with a 10-win season already. Now, the thing for me from Ohio State, defensively, the thought process has to be, do not let them get cooking. Because if they start to sizzle a little bit on that grill, then you start to get burned. And what I mean by that is, Missouri, if you're watching this game at home, or if you're watching this game in person, they're going to do a lot of jet sweep motion across the formation. All right, so it'll be Luther Burden going across the formation, could be Theo Weiss, but a lot of what you're going to see is that motion go one way, and then Cody Schrader back the other way. Big time running back for them. I don't know how that dude was playing D2 at one point in time, but he's definitely not anymore. He's playing in the SEC, and he is an All-American kind of back. All right, so with what he does in this football game, with what Missouri does, putting pressure on the perimeter of this Ohio State defense, it's going to be huge for the safeties to come up and rally and make tackles early. And then also it's going to be huge for the rest of this defense to not get bent out of position when they do try to, attack the edge. Because what happens here, what Missouri wants to do, is get 4 yards on that outside zone, then go back the other way with Luther Burden, that's everything receiver for them, and get 7 yards that way on a jet sweep or a bubble screen with a motion, and get your defense's eyes going this way, that way, left, right, all across the formation. And then when that happens, you start looking at all the window dressing, all the eye candy, and you lose track of the dude running 10 yards behind you, and that big play happens. That was the thing that hurt Ohio State last season. They did a much better job of it this year, but those pop plays, those dagger plays that go for 40 yards and a touchdown, you cannot have that against this Missouri offense. Because for Ohio State now, you look to who you have playing quarterback, and I think he's a baller. I think he's good enough to win you this football game, but he is still a question mark. He's still a question mark. Devin Brown, the ultimate question in this football game, what does he bring you? Because Kyle McCord, as much as people had an issue with what he wasn't for Ohio State this past year, dude still won a lot of ball games. I mean, you were still in position in that last drive to go and beat Michigan. It didn't happen, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but I'm just saying Kyle McCord had the experience factor there, had been at Ohio State for a long time. Devin Brown has been at Ohio State for a minute, but doesn't have that same experience factor that Kyle McCord had. Now, I want to make sure we say this too. Missouri's defense, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be true to who they are, one of the best sack rates in the country. If you're Devin Brown, you need to understand your assignment, which is not when they blitz, spin out of it, make a big-time throw downfield, take the top off the defense. No, the assignment is to be still in that moment and know where to go with the football. Like I'm saying, before the play even happens, we got to be really diligent during the week if we're Devin Brown, knowing our hots. And when I say our hots, I mean when I get someone coming hot off the edge, I got someone hot in my face, I know where to go with the football right away. It may not be that 30-yard downfield dagger to Carnell Tate, but it might be that check down to Travion Henderson that's going to give us 10 yards and a first down on 3rd and 7. That is going to be the key. Because remember what people said about Devin Brown during the offseason. Hey, him and Kyle McCord going back and forth. The guys at Letterman Road did an awesome job reporting on that battle. But the issue with Devin Brown was, hey, he sometimes tries to do too much. That leads to bad decisions. If he can make good decisions, I have a lot of belief that Devin Brown has as much ability as you need to win this football game. And I'll take it a step further. All the good things we know about Kyle McCord, did he do anything superhuman for you besides take care of the football? Got the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., had some really impressive downfield throws for sure, but did he do anything physically that we don't think Devin Brown can do in this game? I happen to believe no. So if Devin Brown can take care of the football, make good decisions, and get it to the playmakers for Ohio State, they're going to be in really good position. But if you don't do that, if you don't take care of the football, and you give this Missouri offense extra bullets to work with, man, like Brady Cook, he will get to cooking, pun intended. So when it comes down to this game, I think it could come down to who has more ways to win. Like in a bowl game with the potential opt-outs you may or may not have, and again, I speak very broadly right now because I don't want to age this video, but like it may come down to who can play the most boring style of football. Now, Brady Cook for Missouri, what he does with his legs, that will be a major factor in this game. But I happen to believe this Ohio State defense, they feel some type of way about this game. JT Tuimoloau, I do not believe is going to opt out. Jack Sawyer, I do not believe is going to opt out. Sounds like they're both coming back. What they have in that front seven, I think they have been overlooked a lot since that Michigan game, and people have talked about them in a different way since that Michigan game. Like people kind of just view them as the old Ohio State. Oh, well, Michigan still outrushed them. And no, this is still one of the best front sevens, I think, in America. And as good as Missouri is running the football, I think Ohio State will be up to the task. And more importantly, I think Ohio State offensively will be able to play vanilla enough, if they have to win this game. Travion Henderson is that guy in this game for me. I don't know exactly what they'll have at the wide receiver position, but running the football, I love Travion Henderson to be good for 4-ish yards a carry, and that being good enough. It may not be flashy. It may not be the Ohio State offense we've seen the past couple of years. Still, you got a quarterback wearing number 33 for you, which personally I'm a fan of, but it may not be the most aesthetically pleasing thing for a lot of the good folks watching this game. But with that being said, I think there's also the little bit of surprise factor there with Devin Brown. Because Devin Brown, you've only seen him now in garbage time and in some short packages, or in some short yardage packages rather, where he's doing, the pseudo wildcat stuff for you. It's probably a designed quarterback run. But they haven't seen him really operate this offense just yet. So you now gave him a little bit of runway to operate this offense. Again, the Ohio State defense, I think, reminds everyone who they are. A lot of folks are leaning towards Missouri right now, even with that line being Ohio State minus 2.5. Missouri's kind of the trendy pick right now. Listen, we love trends. We just don't always follow them. So we're taking Ohio State to win this game. I think it's close. I'm taking Ohio State to win 29-26 in Jerry World. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.